On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are talking about which players could have a big-time breakout game against the Raiders this Sunday. And Sean Payton maybe hinted at one of them. We're going to hear from Sean and break down the game and give our Broncos-Raiders prediction, plus a key injury update. All starts now. To blow out a team. I'm going to get the fellas' prediction on if the Broncos are doing that later in the show. And welcome to the DNVR Broncos Podcast, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. We are the DNVR Broncos Podcast, presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Deposit $10, place $5 bet, and you get $150 in bonus bets when you sign up. Happy Thursday, guys. Ryan Koenigsberg to my left, Henry Chisholm to my right. Dion is back behind the camera, and Zac Stevens rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, how we feeling about Raiders week?
I feel great. Best I've felt about a game all season.
Wow.
Really?
I love that.
What about the last time they played the Raiders? A couple weeks ago.
It was Thursday Night Football.
Okay.
It's just never...
Didn't feel great.
Never predictable.
Okay.
Titans game?
Yeah. I mean, that's like first week vibes, which probably were really high. But I think I feel as good about this one as I can remember.
Yeah. That's fair.
Well, I'll tell you why you should feel that way, because right before the Broncos played the Raiders the last time, the Raiders were 2-6, and that's bad. Now the Raiders, since then, have lost 5 straight games. Or I guess 4 straight games since then, including that loss to the Broncos. And guys, they are, as Tom Petty would say, free falling.
Wow.
Because they are
I
really...
think that was one key high, maybe?
Yeah, I'm free.
No, that's
No.
low.
That's too low.
You were already too high.
Oh, I was too high.
Yeah.
Free falling.
There we go.
Okay,
Nice.
okay. There we
Wow.
go. Thank you for helping me with that. Because they are so bad right now, guys. And of course, the Broncos played Thursday Night Football. They played it a little too close for everyone's comfort. As Bo Nix said, and we'll get to a little bit, but all you need to do is win. And that's exactly what the Broncos did. But since that game, guys, the Raiders have been a disaster. The Raiders have scored, or have in their past 3 games against Cowboys, Browns, and Chargers. So a mediocre team, 2 mediocre teams with the Cowboys and Chargers, and then a bad team with the Browns. They have lost 29, an average of 29-13 in these games against bad teams. They're losing by 16 points a game in the past 3 games to bad teams. So Ryan, you should feel the way you feel.
Yeah. I feel great about this team. I feel great about their direction. And I have been like cautious going into most games about how I felt things were going to go. Mm-hmm. This is the first one where I don't feel the need to be cautious. I'm not saying anything crazy like you would, but I just feel very comfortable.
So it's an easy win.
Yeah.
Whoa, I did not think you were going to go that far ever.
I'm not saying, here's the thing. There's no such thing as an easy win in the NFL. But I predict the way this game will turn out to be easy for the Broncos.
Then that would be an easy win in the NFL.
I'm almost there. The only thing is that I did watch them play the Raiders in Denver 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And watching that game, I mean, they didn't have a first down until there were 5 minutes left in the first half. And they did get a second first down in the first half, but then they went right back to the 3 and outs in the second half. Like,
you're talking about the Broncos.
Yeah. No, like it's... if we hadn't just seen that game, then I'd be right there with you. Like, yep, this is just nice and easy, breeze right through. But I know, like, it was Thursday Night Football, but it was also a home game versus going there. I still feel good about the game, of course.
That's a home game too.
Okay. I still feel good about the game, but maybe the other piece of it is that I've picked the Broncos to win in a blowout, like 4 straight games.
That's fair.
And they just never do it. And so I just have a tough time believing that all of a sudden all of the things that we've seen are just going to go right out the window and they're just going to have a nice, easy win. But I think it's very possible because I don't know how the Raiders score and the Broncos offense should be able to score consistently.
So I'm curious how you guys think this game's going to fold or play out. And we'll get to that later in the show. Also talk about why things could be different than the first time they played the Raiders or why they'll be similar to the first time. But before we do that, we have some things to get to, a lot of things to get to, actually. And Ryan, you have an updated stat that you wanted to present.
Yeah, I love when I mess something up, but it's actually better when I figure out I was wrong. So shout out to Mile High Salute on Twitter who helped me out with this. Yesterday I said that Bo Nix was tied for third all time in terms of game-winning drives in their first 2 seasons. I won't get into why I messed that up, but it's a pretty easy mistake if you were doing what I was doing, which was a lot of manual stat hunting.
Yes.
I was wrong. Bo Nix is tied for second all time in terms of game-winning drives in the first 2 seasons as a quarterback, only behind Andrew Luck, who had 10. So Bo Nix, 1 game-winning drive, which is a drive that gives you the lead in the fourth quarter or overtime, and then you don't relinquish it. 1 away from tying the record through 2 years. And then Mile High Salute hit me with another one here, which is maybe even more exciting and goes very much to our plays better when behind stat yesterday. He's first all time in fourth quarter comebacks through first 2 years in the NFL with 8.
That is incredible, and it just speaks to everything we talked about yesterday. Pretty good company to be in with Andrew Luck, and he will have the most game-winning drives by the time this is over, because we talked about this Raiders game. If you want to say in NFL terms, it's an easy one. But then after that, you get the Packers, you get the Chiefs, you get the Jags who have a winning record, and you get the Chargers. Those are games that are probably, for the most part, going to be close games, and we know that Bo is really good at coming back in the fourth quarter, so the Broncos are probably going to be in that position. He's at least going to tie Andrew Luck for that, and then Ryan, he's going to end this season with the most fourth quarter comeback wins and the most game-winning drives for a player in their first 2 seasons ever.
Crazy. He's got it.
He certainly has it. And speaking of Bo, we talked to him yesterday, and he addressed the non-believers in this Broncos team, sent a message to them, and essentially addressed the people that still don't believe in the Broncos and said, we're 10-2. We're fine. We're doing exactly what you need to do. That is winning games right now. You want to pick this and that. It doesn't matter to us because we still are 10-2. It is hard to win games in the NFL, and we are 10-2. So Bo Nix hearing a little bit of the outside noise and pushing back against it. And I think if this continues and the Broncos are 14-2 in a couple of weeks and there's still people that don't believe, I think we're going to hear even stronger words from Bo here. But I kind of like that, pushing back on the doubters and saying, we don't care about you.
Yeah. I hope he's just not listening. I think that would be maybe a little bit more appealing, but sure. Yeah. Like all that matters is that you're 10-2 and you're winning games. And if you keep winning, then do whatever you're doing that's making you win.
Well, you're going to like this next one, Henry, because a big theme yesterday when talking to Bo, when talking to Sean, when talking to Court, when talking to Pat Surtain and being in the Broncos locker room, a big theme from yesterday was how much Bo and Sean hate to lose and love to win. That was literally like half the press conferences was just about that right there. And Pat Surtain says that's kind of the new feeling in the building, is just how much the head man, as he called him, hates to lose and is addicted to winning. So you're going to hear more and more about this as the Broncos continue to win and that addiction to it. And Sean says it starts from the moment you walk in the building, having just the entryway be about winning and hating to lose. And he pointed to Club Dub, not specifically, but indirectly after the game and saying, you want your guys to be addicted to that and want that. And certainly they do want that, and they are still very much enjoying Club Dub even after 9 straight wins right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very common characteristics among the greats, and it's maybe because of that become kind of overused, the whole, like, do you hate losing more than you like winning thing? But one of one of the lines from book that's just stuck with me so much is from Bill Walsh's book, where he says like, yeah, I had to hang it up eventually when I realized that wins were worth 0 and losses were worth -1. Like I could never get into the positive because I truly hated losing so much that it didn't even feel like winning when we won. It just felt like neutral. Yeah. And I think that's what you have to avoid. And I think that's the point of Club Dub is like, hey, we hate losing, but we got to remember to enjoy it when we win so that there's a payoff, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it doesn't feel like you're just stuck in neutral if you win and losing is the worst thing ever.
I love that. And, there's some buildings, Bill Belichick's Patriots building. It seemed like not being miserable was a success. And if you were able to just get to like 0, then it was good. That's not what Sean does. Sean makes it fun to be in a winning team. He makes it fun to be with the Broncos, and I absolutely love that point right there.
Yeah, and just a quick side note, I think that's important for fans to remember too.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have, even when the game doesn't go the way that you want or hope, you have to have fun when your team wins, or else the season just ends up feeling like it's like grueling.
And I do have to say, if the Broncos beat the Raiders 10-7, I think unfortunately people are going to feel at that 0 point. They're just, and it's not going to be that exciting. And so for vibes, I do think it's important that the Broncos blow this Raiders team out and get style points this week. In terms of just for the team, in terms of vibes outside the building, I should say, that's important. In terms of the team, you just get the win this weekend.
You would get to 10 straight wins.
Do you disagree with me, though?
Oh, I know the fans will.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
yeah.
To me, it's just like you just keep this snowball rolling down the hill any way you can.
Yeah. That's where, like you said, it's important for people outside that it happens, but I don't think how they feel is important at all. You know? Like if we sit here and say, I don't know, ugly wins, all that matters is they win and they're off and going, you know?
Yep, 100%. Speaking of bitching and moaning really quick, that reminded me of something Sean said yesterday. He was talking about how he has missed the feeling of winning twice in his career. Once he was coaching a 6th grade team, and he was out of the NFL, and that was during his suspended season. And then the second time was when he retired for a year and was at CBS, and he said, man, he just missed it so much. And he said, and he was just reflecting on kind of the career, and he said, it's such a unique career. You get to wear sweatpants, you work crazy hours, there's no dress code. And he said, everyone wants to be in this business until they hear about the work hours, and then they're like, I don't know about that. And then once you get back into it, like Sean did, he said, then everyone bitches and moans about how much work it is. Yeah. And it is very true. But he said the common theme was just, man, that addiction to the winning feeling after is just something you cannot replace, or at least he can't replace.
Which might mean that he actually loves winning more than he hates losing.
That would sound good.
If you were retired and you were thinking like, God, I'm so glad I don't have to feel the feeling of losing anymore.
Right. Yeah.
That would be totally different than, man, I miss the feeling of winning.
Yep.
So what do you guys think Bo enjoys or hates more? Winning more or hates losing more?
I think Bo enjoys winning more.
I don't know. I think the whole thing's just made up. That's where I stand.
Really?
Well, Henry, to your point, so Ryan, you're saying he enjoys winning more. Henry's saying the whole thing is made up. We've talked to Bo about this.
Stance.
We've talked to Bo about this multiple times this year, and I believe he has given both answers throughout. So
I look at it from my own perspective. If I'm competing against anyone in anything and we're near the end and it's close, my thought is I don't want to lose.
Me too.
My thought is always I want you to lose.
Wow.
Is there any psychologists in the building?
But like you said, like it just kind of become like a cliche. It was some tennis player back in the day who said it first, then kind of took off. It reminds me of the guys who remember like, oh, I was the 10th receiver drafted, and the other 9 guys are this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. And like, was it like Tom Brady who did that for one of those guys?
Amon-Ra
like,
St. Brown still
does it. But so like the first guy did it, and you're like, oh, that's kind of like, that's badass.
Yeah.
And then everybody else does it, and you're like, oh, that's stupid. You're just copying the thing. That's how I feel about the hating.
Until you're really good, like St. Brown, it's like, damn, that worked for him. But there's been a lot of guys that have done it that haven't panned out.
You stole the bit. Like everybody steals the hate losing more than like winning bit.
There's so many things that can be said.
Right. But like you don't get saying something that somebody else has said shouldn't win you any points.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we have a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news with the injury report. We're going to get to that right after this break. Where I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Dick's Sporting Goods. If you're looking for a great holiday gift, you got to check out our friends over at Dick's Sporting Goods. They can cover you for holiday gifts for yourself, for others, for any sport out there. The new location in Glendale, just about 10 minutes away from here, has an awesome selection of everything, really Colorado sports specifically. But if you need baseball gear, basketball gear, football gear, golf equipment, they've got it for you covered over at Dick's. And of course, if you don't have a Dick's close to you or you want to shop online, you can go to dicks.com, where you can get everything that they've got. Get your gear fast with free curbside pickup at your nearest store or easy shipping from dicks.com, because every season starts at Dick's, including DNVR gear you can get over at Dick's. Saw that in our local Dick's. Got it in Park Meadows, got it at Glendale. So if you want to get DNVR gear, Dick's is your place. Check them out at dicks.com.
Also, shout out to our friends at Common Spirit. At Common Spirit Health, they're more than just hospitals and clinics. They're a team of passionate and expert caregivers dedicated to your well-being and woven into the very fabric of your community. Whether you're, just looking for preventative care, if you need advanced surgical solutions, they've got basically anything that you could ask for. Their skilled physicians and caring staff are here for you, offering personalized treatment tailored to your unique needs. You can expect a blend of cutting-edge technology with a commitment to human kindness at their 20 hospitals and 240 clinics and care sites right here in Colorado. Whether it's a routine checkup, managing a chronic condition, or responding to an emergency, you can trust Common Spirit to deliver exceptional care close to home. And if you're interested, you can experience the difference that compassion makes. You can find a Common Spirit location near you and discover a new standard of health and healing by going over to mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Lot of action this weekend, including Thursday Night Football. Later in the show, I'll get the fellas' pick against the spread on Thursday Night Football tonight. Let me know in the Twitter chat. Do you like Cowboys plus 3.5 or Lions? The game's in Detroit. Let us know tonight. Maybe we will take your advice. I want to get your guys' opinion later tonight. I feel pretty strongly about one side here. But before we get to our picks this weekend, guys, let's take a check at the Common Spirit injury report this week. And do you want the good news or the bad news first, fellas? Bad news. Okay, let's get the bad news out of the way. Nate Adkins, Henry, your guy. I'll just get to the worst news for you right now.
News.
Nate Adkins did not practice again. He has now missed the amount of time that he should have been placed on IR, because he's already missed 4 games. Actually missed 5 games, I believe,
I think,
right now. So should have been placed on IR. That means that clearly the Broncos didn't expect it to be this long of an injury, or there's no reason not to put him on IR. Last week, Sean Payton was asked about that and said they expect him to be back soon. So it was like, okay, he's not practicing last week. Soon might mean this week. Does not appear that's the case. Of course, he could always be on the practice field later today or tomorrow, but not a good sign not practicing there. Henry, you okay?
Yeah, I mean, at some point you're going to need to be able to run the football. I hope that you don't need to get that figured out this week, just because the Raiders aren't a great football team. But if you don't have him down the stretch, it will cost you at some point.
Fair, very fair. And there's another guy on the injury report, small injury report, which is good. These are the only 2 guys that did not practice. In fact, these were the only 2 guys that were not full participants in practice yesterday. But this one, you talk about the run game. This is the run game on the opposite side, the defensive run game. DJ Jones did not practice yesterday. And of course, he left the game on Sunday. Sean doesn't give us updates, so our first time to get an update is yesterday, right after practice. And he did not practice with that ankle injury. And that is, that's not good.
No, not good. I guess in terms of positions where you can withstand a ankle injury, that's not the worst one.
And I mean, again, it's
like I'm assuming now it's a high ankle sprain, which means like 2-3 weeks from now you should be able to go.
Yeah, and also, I mean, when you look specifically on the Broncos, Malcolm Roach just steps right in. You have Savion Jones. You have any who can help with that. Typically, you would say if you're facing the number 6 overall pick who's a running back, you would say, man, you probably want good run defense.
You do still want good run defense.
you don't need it against the Raiders. They've been
You shouldn't.
They've been absolutely terrible in the run game.
But you still need it.
Yes. But you don't.
You should still have it
without
without
as demanding of you.
You don't need you don't need to be 100% in that department.
Well, yeah,
You're still better than
more
they
Malcolm
are.
Roach, which that's what he was just signed to do.
I don't know that there will be more. I think he's kind of maxed out. Like, he's already on the field more than JFM is, more than DJ is. Like, I kind of think those snaps.
So then who are they going to?
It's
Any?
Savion.
Savion?
Yeah, because I think all those guys, you're already asking them quite a bit. You know, I don't know if there's another step there. Maybe there's a little bit.
I just think that's what happens in the NFL when someone gets hurt. So everyone else has to lift it up a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm curious. And they, like, even without him, they're obviously, the Broncos' defensive line's better than the Raiders' offensive line.
Yeah,
but all of a sudden...
No. Don't even go there. I don't think you guys understand how bad the Raiders' run game is.
No, I 100% understand. But also, it's that 10-7 game 3 weeks ago.
That's fair.
Where the Raiders missed the field goal at the end. Otherwise, you're looking at overtime.
But it was not because they couldn't stop the Raiders' rushing attack.
True.
They only held them they held them to 7 points. It was the other side of the ball. Okay, so and then good news before we close out the Common Spirit injury report. Jonah Ellis did practice today. He was close to playing last week. Then literally 24 hours before the game, they pulled him off. He was questionable to play. They said, nope, you're not going to play. You would think that since he was so close last week, that he is trending in the right direction this week, especially he was a full participant yesterday. And Henry, when we talked about this yesterday, you actually thought this might be really, really good news.
Well, we watched the game on Sunday where you throw Q and Dondre in there and you're really struggling in a lot of different ways. I mean, they make some plays, but Jonah Ellis is obviously like your number 3 rusher.
Plays.
Yeah. I wouldn't have minded a couple more, and I think Jonah would give him a couple more. I think getting Jonah back is just a third pass rusher when they rotate. I think last week's game could have been a lot easier if you had him, and I think that having him back will pan out eventually.
Every single time Jonah Ellis plays, I just leave the game being like, man, that guy's good at football.
Right.
And I think he might be top 3 most underrated Broncos.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And Henry, I thought you were going to turn to this direction, which you did yesterday. This is an opportunity for Jonah Ellis to hit the ground running because the Raiders' pass protection is so bad. Do you guys know how much Geno Smith's been sacked in 12 games?
A lot.
I'm going to guess 12 games, probably over an average of 5 a game. I'm going to say 63 times.
That would be insane.
I think the NFL leader is like 60.
Okay.
So I'll go like 52.
I'll give him more credit, I guess. He's been sacked 46 times.
Damn,
they're
that
doing
offensive
well.
line might be elite.
Yeah.
That means that in 11 of their games, they've only given up 37.
Right.
Is still not good. Still, I mean, you compare it to Bo, who's been sacked, I think, like 15 times. Geno Smith's been sacked triple that amount.
Well, how many times did we sack him in that game? I thought it was like 5.
Yeah, it was a lot.
I guess I did overestimate. If the Broncos got 5, that
6.
Browns one I just watched. They got 6.
Yep.
Okay, I just watched that game and I was like, wow, they legitimately can't stop anyone. And it wasn't just Myles Garrett. It was like Isaiah McGuire or something.
Yeah,
Only 5
with
of
10,
them were
right?
Myles Garrett.
It was 10 sacks.
10 sacks in a game.
That is just insane. So I think Jonah Ellis could come back and get a sack in his first game back. So that's the good news. And that is the Common Spirit injury report. We're experiencing the difference compassion makes. Find a Common Spirit location near you and discovered a new standard of health and healing by visiting mountain.commonspirit.org. Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. So I said it earlier in the show that Sean Payton kind of hinted at one player potentially having a breakout game, whether it's this week, whether it's in the future. He didn't necessarily say this game, but I think it's this game. And let's hear what Sean had to say specifically when he was just asked about RJ Harvey yesterday. And the question for Sean was with RJ Harvey showing that he's better in pass protection, because he had a couple really good plays on Sunday night in pass pro. Does that change your vision for him? Dion, we'll just do the short version right now. So does that change your vision for RJ Harvey? Here's Sean.
I would say this, though. Man, there's that saying, you haven't seen anything yet. And he was still had this rare running skill set that you're going to see and continue to. We knew he was really good with the ball in his hands, catching it, former quarterback.
Shout out to Sean for being like me, just confusing a couple of sayings.
Yes. I love that old Bachman-Turner Overdrive song, You Haven't Seen Anything Yet.
So is that what he said?
It's actually, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet.
Well, this was coach speak for that.
Yeah, I think he actually thought for a second, like, do I want to say it the actual way or the phrase, like the proper way?
Yeah. That's probably true. And I love that though. That gets me so fired up. That part of the press conference was the most electric in my mind because of just how much. I mean, RJ Harvey's an electric player. We've seen it. He leads the NFL for rookies, non-quarterbacks, and touchdowns with 8 right now. But just taking that second step would be huge for him, but then massive for the team if he's able to develop. And then Sean continues to go on for the next minute, just talking about how good of a runner he is, and that's why the Broncos drafted him. And I buy into this, and I buy into this happening right now. I think that RJ Harvey has got too much flack for not being able to run inside the tackles. I think he has, or he definitely can run inside the tackles. I think we've seen it. I don't think he's had a ton of opportunity for it. And I think that Sean is going to give that to him. Some people in Broncos country, I haven't really heard you guys say it, but other people have been saying, like, for a couple of weeks, this is going to be the Julio McLaughlin show. He's going to be the actual runner for the Broncos, and that hasn't happened.
That was me.
And I just don't think that's going to happen.
I still stand by it. I still, I get... RJ had the one really big run up the middle. I forget which game it was. It was like the third game of the season. That's the one that kind of carries those numbers. It's the only time they've given him the ball and said run between the tackles, and he's gotten 10 yards. And as much as... I like the talent, and I hope that it comes to fruition. We just need to see some flashes, I think, before I'm willing to say. And I think this week's tough too. The one thing the Raiders are kind of built to do is defend the run. Like, they're third in the NFL in yards per attempt allowed. I would like to become the president of the Evan Ingram Believers Club. Ooh. I'm not sure if that's open, and I want to plant my flag in that as a distraction from the fact that I'm kind of concerned about RJ.
Okay, that's fair, but I would say, and you're right, when you look at the overall numbers, you're like, okay, actually the only thing the Raiders can do is defend the run. Not recently. That's completely fallen off a cliff. In the first 7 games of the season, they were really good against the run. Since then, they've given up 152 yards on the ground, 151 yards on the ground, 84, 114, 64, and last week they gave up 192 yards on the ground. They've completely fallen off, and I think that is why RJ is going to be able to take advantage of this Raiders team. And I also think that Sean wants to prove it. Remember at the beginning of the season and last year, it's like, man, Sean, you don't have to prove it with Bo anymore. We know, and it just feels like, there's some times when he just continues to try to prove it with Bo. I think he's going to get into that mindset with RJ. And Henry, I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. I'm disagreeing, or what I'm saying is Sean Payton is not going to feel that way. Sean Payton is going to continue to try to make RJ that guy. And in the past 2 weeks without J.K. Dobbins, RJ has got the second and third most carries that he has had with the Broncos. He's had the second and third most, or the first and third most touches that he's had with the Broncos. I don't think that's going to change. He had 14 touches 2 weeks ago, 16 touches last week, and I just think that that's going to continue. Last week, he had 61% of the offensive snaps. The week before, 47% of the offensive snaps. Both of those were career highs for him. I think we're just going to see that kind of continue to climb and kind of steady out, but I think it's going to be the RJ Harvey show, not the Jaleel and not the Tyler Bidet show.
I think for now they probably keep forcing it, but at some point, it's been more than a month since he ran for 3 yards per carry in a game. It's 4 straight under 3. And at some point you have to say, hey, we got to try something else, but you certainly aren't there yet. You're still at the point where you're saying, figure it out. One of the things Sean said was, they want to focus on how you get these guys the ball in the situations where they thrive. I think where JK excels is when you kind of get him going. You say like, you're getting this entire drive. We're giving you the ball over and over and over again and building some momentum. I'm not sure if that's the same for RJ. I think that you could go back to how they started the season with, kind of spending more time circling plays and saying, this is a run we want with RJ. This is a run we want with Jaleel. This is, instead of saying all these guys can do all these things and we'll just put him in there and let him build a rhythm. You might be a little bit more selective and say, with RJ, here's what we want to do. With Jaleel, here's what we want to do.
And I get your argument. I just don't think Sean is going to do that. I mean, his comments right there, you've seen, you ain't seen nothing yet.
You haven't seen anything yet.
We haven't.
You ain't seen nothing yet is the correct one
Yes.
there. You ain't seen nothing yet. I just think that shows where his mind is at with RJ.
I'm with Hank on this one. I think that it's the exact same as what we're seeing with Bo, where he's like, I'm going to force you to learn how to play quarterback the way I want you to. When RJ was in there, when JK was in there, you're just using RJ at what he's good at. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if over the last 2 weeks, is it 2 or 3 games since it's just been RJ?
He's two full games.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen them run the sweep, which was his best play before.
Yeah.
At least from a running standpoint. And I think it's honestly because Sean is like, you're going to figure out how to learn or how to run between the tackles.
Right.
Yeah.
But just like Bo with the tempo, I think that when it's needed, Sean will pull the plug and say, like, okay, we're going to go this way. It just hasn't been needed yet.
And RJ
but I think you're agreeing with me because you're saying that Sean is going to make him.
We're all agreeing.
We're all agreeing. Yes, we are all agreeing.
Unless it's essentially until they lose.
Yeah, eventually there's a point where you say like, hey, we might be able to get something from somewhere else, but they're still very firmly in the feed RJ and hope it works out.
But
I don't think so. I think it's just I think they are going to live and die by RJ in the ground game.
Yikes.
The thing that I think Sean means when he says you haven't seen anything yet,
right,
is the pass game and all the different ways they're going to use him in that joker role. Because he's being forced to be on the field more, it means that they're not telegraphing what he's going to do. So because he's getting so many more traditional running back carries and touches, it sets up the other stuff better. And so I think you're going to see him unlocked in a variety of ways that way. The other thing is just watch the Bears game against the Eagles and just steal all of those run concepts.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Right.
I love
it.
it.
Unbelievable.
So, guys, that's who I think is going to break out in this game. I do think RJ is going to break out. I think the Raiders' defense, specifically the run defense, is falling apart. Their team, their organization is falling apart. So I think he has a big game. I'm curious who you guys think is going to break out. I want to hear that after we hit this break. What if I told you I could give you the #1 gift of the holiday season? And I can. And that is by checking out our friends over at Aura Frames, because Aura is named the #1 gift by Wirecutter. And here's a kicker with Aura too. You can get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frame by using the code DNVR at checkout over at auraframes.com. And Aura frames are the best digital frames out there. And the really cool thing about Aura frames, especially when you're giving them as a gift, you can load photos onto it before. And then when you give the gift, you're not just giving a really cool frame, you're giving the pictures along with it. And then you can also update the pictures at any time, whether it's yourself, whether it's the person you give the gift to. It is a really, really cool gift. And if you can want $35 off, use the code DNVR over at auraframes.com. That's AURA frames.com. Use that promo code DNVR. This is an exclusive offer for our listeners. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over with the Gold Crown Foundation. I've said it before, and I'll just keep saying it, that I think it should be compulsory for kids to play basketball growing up. Like it has everything. It's so easy. It just teaches you good lessons, and the Gold Crown Foundation is the way to do it. They've got a bunch of cool stuff going on right now, including in the next couple weeks, they're going to be having some programs over winter break, like the Holiday Hanslick Hoops Camp, obviously hosted by Bill Hanslick. December 22nd and 23rd. It's basketball skills and drills. There's a fun format. You get a t-shirt. You get 2 free tickets to a Nuggets game. They have a holiday volleyball skills camp. I said holiday. Those same dates where you work on volleyball skills, drills, contests, all that sort of stuff. And then there's a winter basketball training series later in the month with high intensity camp, all sorts of cool stuff. And there's always cool stuff going on. So visit goldcrownfoundation.com, learn more. So donate on Colorado Gives Day, Colorado's largest day of giving, or donate all month long.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Henry, you had one more thing to say about RJ?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to be clear. He's a really good receiver. And like the ways that they could use him when they had JK, he was thriving. Like when you go through like the leaderboards for all the rookie rushing stuff, yards from scrimmage stuff, like it's obviously not great at this point, especially for a guy who used a second round pick on, but only Ashton Genty has more receiving yards. You know, that's where you say like, okay, this is working. The Joker stuff is working. You're creating matchups. All of that is really awesome. It's just that he hasn't found the rhythm between the tackles yet. And that's where I'm concerned. The rest of it, he's great.
So, guys, do you think that there will be a breakout game from a guy on the offense, guy on the defense? Because we've seen some flashes from Evan Ingram. Obviously, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims. Cortland Sutton can't really have a breakout game because he has already very much broken out.
And 6 years ago.
Exactly. This can also be on the defensive side of the ball. Do you guys see, going up against a 2-10 team, a breakout game coming for someone?
I mean, if I could choose anyone, it would be RJ.
Right.
That would be the best news for the Broncos. But I think that as much as maybe people don't like this, the Broncos are going to slowly but surely just keep passing the ball more and more because of the lack of run. And I think they can get away with that against the Raiders. And so I'm going to say if anyone breaks out, quote unquote, it would be like Pat Bryant's first 100-yard game.
I love that.
Or like Marvin Mims. Did he have like 2 big plays because they bust a couple coverages?
Because Evan, they might just keep the Evan train rolling. But I really have become a big believer in like Sean Payton only shows things when he has to. And I think he just gave us a little taste because they loved that matchup. And they needed some, like that play where they isolated him on Bobby Wagner. Like that's in overtime. And I think Sean might just be like, okay, the Ingram package works. Like, let me put this away until we need it again.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, you just want to get things on tape. Like if you could find a way to leave this game with like 5 clips of Evan Ingram just bullying a linebacker, then you'd be like, oh, well, now teams need to respect him as a blocker. And that might be one that's not achievable, but I think you do have to go through and say, is this one where we could hit on a couple deep balls? And because of that, teams feel like they have to respect Bo's deep ball more than they have in the past. And that could open things up moving forward. And I think that's where I'd go. I'm not sure. I'll put Marvin's name on it, but it could just as easily be Troy, who down the field winds up with a couple big plays because they really want to show what they're capable.
We're getting close to Marvin Mims season. Maybe we need to make December Mimsember, because remember, that's when he really broke out last year, had 4 touchdowns in the final 2 games of the regular season. And I think that is maybe the biggest one that Sean is just holding in his back pocket, because it's not like they're throwing to Marvin like they are with Ingram, and it's just the connection isn't there. Something's not working out before this past game. They're not doing anything with Marvin Mims on the offensive side of the ball, really. And we saw when they do it, it really, really works. I think that might be the ultimate Joker card that Sean's holding in his pocket until playoffs.
For sure. Also, we were going to go with a PS2 themed December.
Yeah.
But we have to save that because Sertanuary is perfect.
Right. I still think Evan Ingram December. December. That's the one that I think we're going to circle back. We're going to say that was the one. Doesn't sound great.
Let us know in the Twitter chat. Does
technically the
work?
Game against the Commanders ended in December.
Right.
But I think the last offensive possession took place in November.
Right.
What is good with December?
I don't know. We'll have to let it manifest itself.
Yeah.
Sean Tober it took years, to become a thing.
It did.
It very much did. Okay, so that's who we're going with our breakout. Do you guys need to see style points in this game? We talked about, like, do fans of the team. Do you guys need to see it?
I personally do not. I believe in this team. There's nothing that can really change it for me at this point. Even if they were to lose, which I'll touch wood, it wouldn't, like, change my feelings about the team. The team is good enough to win close games. The defense is good enough to beat great teams. They're good in my opinion. So I don't need style points. I would love for them to continue winning. Style points are just that, would make everyone feel warm and fuzzy, but you just need to win.
It would make the watch along more fun. You sit there not stressed. We wouldn't, again, if we're not banking on a late fourth quarter field goal from the Raiders missing again, that would be nice if we're just having a party. But again, I don't. My opinion will not change one way or the other on the overarching Broncos based on whether they, if they win by 50, I'm not going to be like, well, wait a second. What if they are good? I think they are good. Yeah. If they win by 1, I'm not going to be saying, oh, maybe they're not that good, because we've seen it over and over and over again. Just go win. It's a road divisional game.
What's so interesting is so the Patriots have had a cupcake schedule, but they actually they have blown some teams out. Even this last week against the Giants was a dominant performance. So I expected that to mean that all of the national media would be heaping praise onto the Patriots and kind of not giving it to the Broncos. I've seen a lot, because there's been conversations this week, who's better, Broncos or Patriots? A lot of people are still taking the Broncos. And I think it's because of their nature of being fortified through these tough games.
Yeah, and we even heard Baldy on our show. Maybe it's because he was on our show and he felt a little swayed to do that. But I think Baldy always tells us the truth. So, and he even said Broncos there.
Yep.
So I agree with you that is really impressive. And guys, these Raiders are a very different team. The Broncos played them 4 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. They're a very different team. They fired their special teams coordinator right after the Broncos beat them, Tom McMahon. Shout out to former Broncos special teams coach. And Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, both gone. 2 of the 3 coordinators are gone. And Sean Payton essentially said yesterday that he thinks that this means the Raiders are going to run the ball more, because that's what Pete Carroll wants. He wants a good run game and a good defense. And from what Sean was inferring, or maybe heard or felt, is that Chip Kelly was just trying to throw the ball way too much and not use their 6th overall pick in the draft. So I think the Broncos are preparing for more Ashton Genty in this game.
You want to run it on 2nd and 12? Is that what they're asking for?
Yeah.
When you're averaging 1.9 yards per carry?
And I get
so
the
Get
overarching.
back to 3rd and 10?
You lead the NFL in interceptions. The sacks are terrible. And the more you throw the ball, the more the defense expects the pass. And so they're rushing more. If you did make the defense respect the run game, it really would benefit them in the passing game.
Yes.
But I agree. We're throwing too much on 2nd and 12. It doesn't matter. You're screwed.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's no right answer here.
I was just gonna say you're cooked.
Right. There's no answer.
There's no button that you can press or play that you can call that will uncook you.
No. The problem isn't scheme. The problem is you're not good.
You don't have players. And mostly up on the offensive line.
So do you disagree with Sean? Do you think that they will still just throw the ball?
I mean, I have no idea. There's no right answer against the Broncos defense. I guess with how bad you are protecting the passer, you have a better chance of not screwing up by running it.
Right.
So maybe they will.
The clock runs. Yeah.
Yeah. You run the clock. You aren't going to get strip sacked or just get Geno killed out there like the last time. You have to imagine Geno's thinking about how the last time they damn near had to airlift him off the field the last time he played the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
It's very true. And guys, Ashton Genty has been a disaster this whole season, and not just him, but just his production and value to the team. Since he played the Broncos, they are averaging, Ashton Genty specifically is averaging 2.1 yards per carry. 2.1 yards per carry. That is so bad. So I don't think it matters what the Raiders try to do. Even with DJ Jones potentially out in this game, tons of sacks, no running. Brock Bowers, Broncos, you have Pat Surtain back, you put him on there. That's the only guy that I'm worried about. And just because of how good the Broncos defense, I'm not deathly scared of them.
I've seen a couple of people say this. What about just December? Just emphasize the D every time. It's
That's
D for
good.
Denver, D for defense.
Right.
It's just December.
Yeah, I like
That'd be
that.
nice.
I like that. That's good.
It's pretty easy too.
Yeah.
One more thing. This is just a random rant that I want to go on.
Good.
Bo Nix doesn't need a nickname.
No.
There's a lot of conversation out there. What nickname should he have? I saw a poll. All the options were terrible. Bo Nix doesn't need a nickname. His name is Bo Nix. It's 5 letters long.
Right.
Shortest name in NFL history.
Some of the best players just don't have nicknames.
Right.
It's cool that Peyton did, because he was definitely good enough that he didn't need one. The Sheriff was cool. But you just, and even PFM was cool. I'd be fine with BFN, although that was that terrible Colorado State quarterback.
Oh, right. Wonder what's up with him.
Just, he doesn't need a nickname. Let's not force it.
I mean, the nickname's Bo.
That's great.
Yeah, I agree.
Tom Brady never had a nickname.
TB12?
You can't try to give somebody or something a nickname. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Like, it has to just come naturally. Like
We've just
the
been
Joker.
doing it with the month for like
Joker.
2 days.
I know, but that's different. We're
know.
changing the name of the month. It's like, yeah, it's Joker. Why? Because it's obviously is Joker. Like, there's nothing more to it.
Yeah, I mean, the best ones for sure are natural, but sometimes, good ones come up. Like someone had to come up with the Orange Crush.
Right.
It didn't just like appear out of thin air.
Yeah.
Jokic and Joker, that was just like, it was right there in front of
Right.
you. That one is very
And that's
natural.
why it's the best nickname there is.
When
like
will
PS2.
When will this defense
Right
get
there.
the orange rush?
That's not bad. It's
Like, if they actually do set the record, they probably deserve a nickname, and that one's too good.
but they deserve a better nickname than a spin-off of another nickname. You know, like that. Like their nickname shouldn't be like. So like before, it's similar to like if there was a no-fly zone and there's like the bow fly zone or something that actually makes sense, and you're just like, well, no, your nickname should be a unique for you nickname, not just like the child of a previous nickname. You are special in your own.
With the nickname I came up with for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was that?
Dime Time.
Oh, because it was because he was like, well, that's just prime time.
Yeah.
Right.
Stand by
It
it. But
is.
he didn't like it. He's like, I want my own thing.
Right.
I just think the orange rush, it's so perfect.
Supermax.
It's so perfect.
Yeah, I really do like the Supermax. I also
think
really do like
yeah.
the Orange Rush. The Supermax just requires too much explanation.
Does it?
Also, that is referring to the entire defense, right?
Yeah.
Supermax.
And this would be referring to the best pass rush of all time. And this one kind of just fits that.
Well,
When you hear no fly zone, do you think just the secondary? Because I think the whole defense, which might be wrong.
I think secondary.
Okay.
It's definitely lives with the secondary, but it is cool that it was like, it is the whole defense. Like, all of those things work together.
But
You couldn't pass on this defense. It was led by the secondary. If you say the no-fly zone, name the members of the no-fly zone. No one's saying like Derek Wolfe.
Right. Exactly. Literally, when they brought them back last year, they even left a couple of members of the secondary out, but it was just the secondary.
Included David Bruton.
Okay, let's get to our picks. I'm curious what you guys have for this game. Is it a blowout? Is it a close one? I assume you guys both have the Broncos winning, but we'll find out. Before we hit this break, make sure to drop your score predictions in the Twitter chat, and if you're tuning in later, drop the predictions below. Want to see if we're looking at blowouts across the board or if we think it's going to be close. Okay, so let's get to our predictions right after this. We've got a huge weekend coming up of sports. We got the college championship conference games all day Saturday. We got Thursday night football and a good one tonight. And then, of course, Broncos all day Sunday. And you have to have the best beverage out there with you if you're going to celebrate these games. And that's our friends over at Coors Light. We've always got Coors Light on set. You can see it sitting right in front of Henry right now. And the cool thing about Coors Light is it's all about chilling. Not only is it great beer, but it is meant to chill. So much so that it is brewed chilled. It is bottled chilled. It is served chilled. And they even go the extra step to make the cans and the bottles, the mountains turn blue when it is the perfect temperature to chill. The mountains aren't blue on ours right now because it's not chilled, but if you just throw them in a fridge, they will be chilled. We actually have Coors Light fridge in the watch along just across from us. And if you go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR, you can get Coors Light delivered straight to you. Drink responsibly. Coors Light, Colorado beer.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Whatever you're trying to do, like if you're in Colorado, they've got all the best options. Whether you're trying to spend more time going off roads, whether it's driving up the mountains, whether you're hauling things, there's a truck for you, whether it's a Tacoma or the Land Cruiser. They also have 17 models with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the 4Runner. They also offer more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker. Those give customers numerous choices to reduce their carbon footprint. There's 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from. The Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. Toyota SUVs take command on the road and on the trail so you can explore the road less traveled without sacrificing smooth city rides. And SUVs like RAV4 and Grand Highlander Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East, Aurora, Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL, official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
And if you want to get in on this weekend's games, including tonight and the Broncos game, use that code DNVR365 over at Bet365 to get $150 in bonus bets when you place a $5 bet after depositing $10. Fellas, I'm looking at the Toyota chat, and Broncos Country is seeing a beatdown come this way. I think 90% of the ones that I'm seeing in here don't just have the Broncos winning. 100% of them have the Broncos winning. But 90% of them have the Broncos covering the spread. Over at Bet365, Broncos favored by 7.5 right now. I've seen it fluctuate from 6.5 to 7 to 7.5 to 8. So we'll see where it lands, but probably 7.5 is probably right there. I'm curious if you guys have the Broncos covering the spread. Ryan, what is your Broncos-Raiders score prediction?
Yeah, again, this is the most comfortable I've felt about a game in a while. I think that it's just two trains going in complete opposite directions. And that makes it really hard for the Raiders to be able to like match the intensity that the Broncos are going to have. So with that being said, I am picking the Broncos to win 27-6. And
that was my score.
Wow.
Kid you not. Exact same score.
I bet you weren't going to predict this, though, because I already predicted it on the post-game show when Benny pressed me about it for some reason. 8 sacks.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's...
Be the one who picks it close. It's fine.
Yeah, I picked blowout.
Yeah.
I did it last week, and I was right.
Blowout. And I just keep being wrong about these blowouts. They never blow a team out.
So
so I
the Bengals
can't...
and the Cowboys.
They did. And the Cowboys one was the one I decided would be close. So I really feel like a moron.
That's good. Make this close.
Yeah.
Right. And so this might also be a case of overcorrection, but again, Broncos can't run the football. And I think that in a game like this, when you want to just make it easy and go, you got to be able to run it. And until I see it, I can't believe that they can do it without J.K. Dobbins. So I'll say they score 16 and the Raiders score 10.
16-10. All right. A close one.
Yeah, 16-10.
Which, man, Broncos Country is very used to.
Does Bo tie the all-time record for game-winning drives through 2 seasons? Is it 10-10? And then they missed the extra point or something?
10-9?
I think it'd be more likely 10-9.
Because they've got to be down,
Yeah.
right?
10-9.
In order for Bo to really
that would
turn
be
it on?
game. That would be comeback, fourth quarter comeback, and game-winning drive.
I'll say
you're right.
I'll say
Yeah.
no. I'll say this isn't like they score at the end to do it.
Okay.
It's like just held a touchdown lead most of the way through.
I like this prediction from TFBK. Says 59-14 Broncos. Give them the 20-10 beatdown they gave us.
Please never bring that game up.
I like flipping it, though. I like flipping it that direction.
I'd like if they actually did it.
Yeah, I
Hearing
would too.
That
thought.
one specifically, like, I can just remember exactly how I felt watching it.
Well, that was the leftovers of... No, that was... Was that leftovers of Josh McDaniels? Yes, because he was no longer there. But that was the end of his season.
Sounds about right.
The second season. Yeah, brutal. Okay, let's move on here. So we all got the Broncos winning 11-2, guys. And if that happens, the Broncos won't just be the first seed in the AFC taking over the Patriots, but they would officially own a two-way tiebreaker with the Patriots for the rest of the season, because common opponents is what it would come down to. And the Broncos would be 6-0 against common opponents with the Patriots, and the Patriots would be 5-1 against common opponents. And you know the team that gave the Patriots their only loss? This is
the Raiders?
It is the Raiders. It is the worst loss or biggest upset in the entire NFL this year.
Bro, if the Patriots were in college football, the committee would be leaving them out.
With how bad it was?
No good wins and a bad loss.
That's true.
Yeah, it's very, very true. Yeah, it's a really good point. So that is shout out to the Raiders for that, for beating the Patriots early in the season before they went on their run, because that would be the tiebreaker. And it doesn't guarantee the Broncos a tiebreaker for the rest of the season, but because a three-way tie would change things up, but in a two-way tie, the Broncos would get that. So that's why this game is just... It's huge. It is absolutely huge. Some people are saying must win. I don't think it's a must win. I think that's silly, but I do think it's a big game for those reasons.
I don't know if you know this, but how does the tiebreaker work in common opponents when one team plays a common opponent twice?
By the win percentage. So it does. If you both played the team, all games against that team count, even if one team played more.
So then the Broncos would potentially still have the tiebreaker.
No, I think it's record.
That's the same thing.
Well, no. I bet the Broncos have the Broncos played someone in the AFC East? Then the Patriots would have played them twice.
Mm.
So not the Dolphins, the Jets. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
But so it's
the
obviously
Patriots
unbalanced
then
because
could
they
go-
play them twice.
Yeah.
And we only played them once, but it just comes down to the win percentage.
No, but what I'm saying is the Broncos have played the.
It would end up pushing.
No, it wouldn't,
Why?
because the Broncos are 6-0 in common opponent games.
Right.
In those games. And
No,
right.
I'm saying if they were to lose this.
Right.
Then it just goes to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like 10 different things you can go down the list for. Okay, let's get to our picks the rest of the weekend. Let's start tonight. This won't be an official pick for us, but who do you guys like? Cowboys plus 3.5 going into Detroit against the Lions on Thursday Night Football. Henry?
I mean, that Lions defense just sucks. Like, I don't see a world in which the Cowboys don't score 30. It's just like, is the Lions offense capable of keeping up? And you would think they would be, but with the Monter St. Brown game time decision, then, I mean, we saw what they looked like without him last week, and the answer was not good at all. So I'm going to just go Cowboys with the win, I think.
Ooh,
But
like that.
if St. Brown plays, then all of a sudden I might regret that.
Well, I like that a lot. I think kind of your logic, the Cowboys are going to score a ton of points. But if I get the 3.5, I'm definitely taking it. Maybe the Lions win by 3, but I love it.
This feels like a trap.
That's fair.
The book just knows money is coming in crazy on the Cowboys for this game, and I think they like that. So give me the Lions just because they're daring me to take the Lions.
All right. I like it.
By the way, I was perfect last week, I think.
Oh, well,
Wow.
let's see if you'll be perfect this week.
Really?
Maybe a little parlay that people could put together here. So we've
Maybe
all
not
got.
on the. I wasn't in the division. Probably not on the Thanksgiving games.
Okay, that's
All
fair.
dogs.
So then, guys, the other two AFC West games are both primetime games. Sunday Night Football, you have the Texans facing the Chiefs in Arrowhead. We're just picking this game straight up, but it is a 3.5-point favorite to the Chiefs in Kansas City. Both teams are really clawing and scratching
Sure.
to get
Kicking and
this
screaming?
kicking and screaming
Yeah.
to get this win this
Scratching
week.
and clawing would be
Scratching and clawing. Did I flip it?
Yeah.
This is a huge game for both teams. Ryan, do the Texans pull off the upset?
Chiefs likely going to be without both of their starting tackles against the Texans.
Oof.
So,
Will Anderson,
Good night, Chiefs. See you next year.
6-7 would be good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
prime time too. Broncos fans get to watch that after they beat the Raiders. Henry?
I'll take the Texans as well.
I love it. I absolutely love it, man. From a football perspective, you guys are absolutely right. If I can pick the Chiefs and get a game on you guys, I guess I'll do that. So give me the Chiefs. I think this is a incredibly close game. I love the 3.5 points, and Ryan, man, being without their two tackles against this team that sacked Josh Allen 10 times is pretty juicy. So I love that. I'll be cheering for the Texans. Now, the other game, Monday Night Football. Speaking of injuries, you've got the Eagles going into Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. And this one, if the Broncos win on Sunday and the Chargers lose on Monday night, we're talking about like a 3-game lead that the Broncos have on the Chargers for the division with 4 games left. So this weekend is huge for what the Broncos can do in the AFC West. Of course, Justin Herbert is without his 2 starting tackles, playing with a potential cast brace on his broken wrist that he just had surgery to.
Is he playing?
I don't know.
Plan is to play,
But
not official.
But then some news came out that might help the Chargers because Jalen Carter, I believe, is going to miss Monday night's game for the Eagles.
Lame.
Eagles are 2.5-point favorites, but we're not picking against the spread. Who do you guys like?
I obviously like the Eagles.
Oh,
Two teams really trending in the wrong direction. Both started really hot this season. Both were like the front runners to win their conferences, and both have struggled. I'm going Eagles too.
I think the Chargers just have too many weapons for the Eagles defense.
All right.
I think McConkey and all those guys I like the Chargers.
All right, there we go.
I want to rephrase that. I think the Chargers will win.
Very fair, very fair. Okay, let us know who you think is going to win. In saying that, I think the Chiefs would be eliminated from the division if the Broncos win this week and they lose. Actually, they would be.
They would be.
For sure.
Which is awesome.
Only one of those two things needs to happen, I'm pretty sure.
Depending on the tiebreaker.
Insane. Just so cool. Okay, we got some super chats that we're going to hit on the other side. In overtime, go to thednvr.com where we are going to finish the conversation. And let's hit these super chats. And first one coming in from Neem Dog, who says, one thing me and my Patriots fans can agree on is that the Ellises are dogs. Excited for Jonah to come back. He is a future star. RK knows ball.
Yeah. He hit the shit out of Jackson Dart. That was incredible.
My goodness.
I love that so much.
I am just so annoyed watching Jackson Dart do that.
Yo, yeah, he's just stupid.
And I don't even like him. I'm just like, please, just be smarter.
Right. Like, just don't be an idiot.
And then after the game, he's talking about, like, yeah, just watch my tape. That's just how I play. I'm like, okay, well, that's dumb.
Right.
So I asked Bo about this yesterday because there's been a lot of conversation surrounding Jackson. And essentially, he was a lot smarter with his answer, but said, like, we've just grown up this way.
Bo doesn't do that shit, though.
I know. And Jackson does need to change his ways. But, man, the Ellises, that family is a football family through and through. And they play the right way. And that means if you're going to try to tiptoe down the sideline, they're going to blast you. They're going to blast
into
you.
another dimension.
Yeah. 5452 chimes in and says, Orange and Blue Wrecking Crew for a Broncos defensive nickname. How do you feel about that?
It feels very old-timey.
Does feel old-timey?
I like it. I could see it being like in like an old Denver Post archive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I do think, like, sometimes you just have to think, like, how would Dave Logan sound saying it? So, like, somebody suggested Nick's the fix. For example, you say, like, okay, so, like, imagine, PS2 breaks it up and the Broncos, and then imagine Nick's the fix throws the bump, and it's like, it doesn't quite hit the same. But, like, the what is it, the orange?
Nick's the fix for some reason just makes you think of Bob the Builder.
Me too. He does that to me too. But
Yeah.
what was this one? The orange and blue wrecking crew. The orange and blue wrecking crew does it. Like, that's not bad. I don't know that it's like great, but it certainly isn't an issue.
It's not like a nickname as much as it is like a thing that you could say.
Right. But sometimes that's where those nicknames come from.
Yeah.
The Orange Rush gets him again. It works,
Right.
Henry. I think it works.
Yeah.
Oh, it does work. It's just taking from something else.
That's fair. Oregon Deet 81 says Henry Chisholm equals comeback analyst of the year. He is back to form and fully locked in. Buffs box on me, brother.
Wow.
Just please don't talk about sucking burrito filling.
You didn't know that I was taking my pills during the commercial breaks.
He's back. Locked
He
in.
is
Working on
back, locked in, and the Broncos are back. They are locked in for a big game against the Raiders. We'll have updates on this channel leading you up to the game, so make sure to stay tuned, check that video section, and we will be back for a full day on Sunday. Broncos game is at 2:05, so make sure to tune in with us right around 1:30 for the pregame, then watch along all game, and then post-game. Of course, we are here for you on Broncos game day all day. For Ryan, for Henry, for Dion, that'll do it for us. Enjoy your weekend. We can't wait to talk to you about an 11-2 Broncos team coming up.
God bless Bo Nick.
We all silly like the mayor.